Hey YouTube, how's it going? HeadBoss here. Today I'll be bringing you a video on Playdead Inside and the theories I have about the game itself, the actual storyline within it, and etc. Now, just as a fair warning to anyone who has not played this game, there will be a lot of spoilers coming up, so if you haven't played it or you don't want it ruined, please go ahead and leave the video. If not, stay tuned and let's go ahead and discuss some of the things that I think is very interesting with this game. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, Playdead, they also made, oh man, I'm forgetting it off the top of my head, the other game, but this game basically doesn't have any storyline, any narrative at all. The only thing it has is your character moving throughout the game. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started. So, the main premise behind the game, or the main objective, is you're this little boy in a red sweater, and you're all alone in this world, and you continuously are running towards a specific goal, with that end goal being to free the hive mind at the end of the game. Now, it seems pretty basic with the storyline like that, but the question that I have is why would you go all the way to the hive mind? You're just a child. What would motivate you to go all the way there and free the massive blob at the end of the game? Now, if we fast forward to the ending, number one, alright, here we are at the ending, and as you can tell, you have a room full of different people just watching you, and they got that bait luring you to that platform where they want you to stand. So this part doesn't make sense. If you're actually escaping from the compound and you broke out, why is everyone helping you and assisting you? Why are they giving you assistance on the way out, and then they're also positioning you to the point where you're able to actually leave? That doesn't make sense to me. Blob eventually does break free, and he rolls out from that compound, pines of it, goes all the way down there to a nice little scenic view at the water, and he just rests in the sunlight, enjoying the view. Now, this ending doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, you're a boy, you decide to run all the way throughout the game, come and free this massive blob at the end, and there's this strange fixture of light in only one spot, in which case as soon as the blob gets to it, he doesn't move and is unable to move. Now, if you remember while playing the game, there's another creature that if you flash the light on them, the underwater little mermaid, they couldn't. Alright, so right here, here's an underwater creature that anytime you get the light close enough to it, the creature's backing away, is like unable to move or operate. So I think that's kind of interesting with the same beam of light we saw at the end. I think that beam of light might be an actual light fixture, in which case the scientists already know he's going to escape. They have the plan outlined for him to escape, and they just choose to. So before we go and evaluate that anymore, let's check out the alternate ending. Alright, so here we are, the alternate ending that you can unlock, and the boy runs to this underground little cell in the middle of a cornfield, and he's unplugging like a mainframe line. Now, if you watch, he's got the same position as all the other mindless individuals. So, once he unplugged from that, it seems that for some reason he was actually being mind controlled the entire time. Now, this idea is kind of stimulating, so here's my thought on it. For some reason, you're in a post-apocalyptic world. These scientists have created this hive mind as a means of control, where this thing can control multiple different things at once. and the scientists are somehow evolving it and growing it as a whole bunch of individual people blobbed into one. And I think the scientists have repeated this process several times before, since there's other underwater facilities that have been damaged and destroyed. So I'm thinking that the boy was actually being controlled by the blob this entire time, and they're trying to stimulate a new level of, I guess, free will, or not free will, but intellectual thought. Alright, so second thing I'd like to discuss is you can see these mindless drones, they look like humans, but if you wear a specific helmet, some type of mental telepathy, they're going to go ahead and follow you around and everything. Now, one thing that I noted in the game earlier was these humans, I don't know if they're actually humans or if they're a scientific experiment that they have grown. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so right here in the beginning of the game in the forest, you see these two individuals that obviously work for this company that's out to get you. They're standing next to a yellow, well, not yellow, but a pod with a yellow light. And it's got like a big instrumentation cable from the top of it. Now, during my time in the game, I wondered what was in it, and later on, I discovered what I believe to be in it. So at this particular scene we are coming up on, I've noticed in the air there's actually a pod that we saw in the forest. Now if you look at this, there's the mindless drones within this pod. Now I'm kind of wondering if maybe throughout, I guess the post-apocalyptic era, they have a severe lack of population, not enough individuals around to perform basic functions necessary to maintain a society. So, what if the scientists are actually growing these humans in the forest in some type of incubation chamber out there? The guards are going out and picking them up, and the scientists are trying to figure out how to actually expand their minds to create these drones, pretty much robots out of flesh that are able to perform various functions and rebuild society as a whole. That's one thought process I have on it, and it makes sense to me. If anyone else has a different thought process, feel free to comment below. And my next question that I thought about while playing through the game is there's quite a bit of water throughout all of the game, and they have underwater, well, not underwater, it was, looks like to be different facilities that somehow got flooded, and they lost the ability to control them for some reason. Lost the ability to maintain these facilities is the fact that they were trying to create a different type of drone, and through their experiments, they were trying to create one that was from underwater. And during their testing process, maybe somehow they pushed it too far, and the thing just went rampant, and they lost the ability to control it. That's why you got these little underwater mermaid things that whenever you're under the water, they go to attack you. I'm thinking that those might have potentially been in a controlled experiment, in which case they broke free and completely destroyed the facility. I also think that those underwater Little Mermaid people are, by default, an extension of the hive mind, in which case the hive mind, the big blob at the end, is able to control these things and help you along the path. Now, it seems like this one is trying to attack you, but it's really just pulling you down to give you a special ability where you can breathe underwater, in which case you can continue on with your mission to actually get to the hive mind. Now, you might sit there and say, okay, well, in this part, the underwater mermaid did help me, but what about the other times when the underwater mermaid was drowning me? I think that the other underwater mermaids that were trying to drown you were out of the hive mind's cognizant control, in which case those underwater mermaids are just running rampant they have no control, the hive mind can't do anything for it, in which case that would also go along with my theory that they destroyed all the other facilities and flooded them. As you saw throughout the game, they were able to manipulate water using gravity cannons or little gravity beams, in which case you can have water on the ceiling and vice versa. Another thought that I find quite interesting is the fact that this boy is in the middle of the woods, nowhere, and he is being hunted by several individuals. Men from the facility are actively looking for him. Now, the reason for this, I believe, is the scientists predicted that this event would occur, in which case the hive mind gains enough intellectual thought to become self-conscious and desire to be freed. So, I think they can detect this type of anomaly that occurred, in which case they are already looking for the boy in the middle of nowhere where all these drone pods are, in my idea or my thought process, are they're generating humans or growing humans or the drones within it. And one thing that a lot of people miss, that if you don't pay very close attention, is the actual breakout scene of the hive mind. And here's that scene I'm talking about. I'll pause it right here. So if you notice, right here, it's the same exact scene that occurs at the end of the game. So you got the forest there with a big light shining down on it right at the resting point that the hive mind goes to. So I think the scientists already know that the hive mind will try to escape. I think that beam of light will actually go to paralyze or stun him, and they'll bring it back in and try to recreate or do future testing on it. It's kind of interesting that this facility would have the exact depiction of his escape route, know exactly where he'll go, they lead and guide him to it, and there just happens to be the rays of light there to paralyze him. So with all this information available, it seems as if the scientists are just reproducing the same experiment in hopes of eventually creating a hive mind that can control thousands of drones to fulfill their will. Now, the one thing the scientists I don't think actually were able to take into consideration is the hive mind might actually get intelligent enough to realize that the only winning move he can actually do is just not play their game anymore. And that is the reason I think the alternate ending is there. So as we see here once again, I think this alternate ending is the hive mind realizing he's being controlled by the scientists, and he finally decides enough control, in which case he disconnects himself from the actual network. I don't know, it's a very, very well made game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's got quite a few different uh, layers of meaning and interpretation that you can do, but those are my general thoughts on it. If anyone has any other thoughts, which I'm sure there's tons of different viewpoints, I'd love to hear them. Go ahead and discuss them in the comments below. I hope y'all enjoyed this game as much as I have, and thanks for watching. If you liked the video or got any comments, please hit the like button, comment below, subscribe if you want to help support, and y'all take care.